Welcome to the Rich Vernadeau Show.
Knowledge concerning the JFK assassination. Now, your name would be
David Moore.
David Moore. Tell me what you've learned or what you found out in connection with the JFK assassination. Tell me what happened to the best of your knowledge.
That one beautiful November day, I went to downtown to see the parade when Kennedy would pass by.
Yes.
Now, this was a very big event. I admired Kennedy, considered him a hero. He was a handsome young man, beautiful wife. I mean, it looked like a movie, almost superhero. Now, I understand that there were some people of voting age who didn't like his politics. I was unaware of that, didn't know about it. But I thought it was great. My friend and I were going to go downtown to see the president pass. So we were downtown and on the street waiting for him to pass by, and his cars and all the hoopla surrounding us.
Yeah.
And I remember a Secret Service man. My head was about elbow tall to him, and he looked like a giant. Had the earpiece and everything, you know. The president went by, and I could barely get a glimpse. So we could hardly move for the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we would run down to the next block over, and to my amazement, it was almost vacant. It was like a ghost town 1 block away. So we ran toward the book depository, toward where he would turn, and maybe we would get a glimpse.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we were much too slow. And then I heard popping sounds echoing through the buildings, and I didn't think much of it, because in those days, cars would backfire, and it happened often. And then I saw the Dallas police driving as though they were in a Dukes of Hazzard tryout.
Mm-hmm.
Sliding around corners, engine full throttle, siren on. I thought, oh no, something's happened to the president. And I ran to the corner of the 2 blocks down from the book depository. I could get a clear view of all around the area, all around me. And I remember there was a tall black man there on the corner. And I said, sir, did you see what happened here? And he said, I heard popping. He said, I think they were shots. And he said, I don't know if the president was hurt or not. And I asked several other people and couldn't get a story. So we went home as fast as we could and saw it all in the news. And it was the death of a hero to me, and it really hurt. And later, weeks following, I started to learn things and think about it, and it just didn't seem right. Didn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Warren Commission report came out, and I read part of it, and it seemed to be such a work of fiction that even as young as I was, it didn't make sense. Just a few years later, I had a cousin who was in the Dallas Police Department, and the Dallas Police held that as an open case, I think, until 1974. And we talked about the complete absence of forensics, things that didn't sound right.
Uh-huh.
And he told me, he said, I don't know what happened that day, but whatever it isn't, as the Warren Commission said. I won't give my opinions here because there are many opinions, and mine may not be any more well than anyone else's. But that's just what happened. cool November day.
Well, if I may ask you, back at the scene itself, when you talked to the tall black man, did you go ahead and walk down toward Dealey Plaza, toward the grassy knoll at that point to survey the situation?
No, I didn't cross the street in that direction. I just turned right, went down 2 blocks, got a bus.
Now, as you know, Oswald got on a bus also.
Yeah,
And
went down that same route.
yeah. Over the weekend when you watched the news coverage, of course, I'm sure you saw when Oswald was shot by Jack Ruby. What was your instant gut reaction or feeling when that happened?
I was young at the time, so, but later, it seemed to be a conspiracy because it seemed that someone was hiding their. I read spy versus spy stories, and you remove links of a chain, and soon you can't figure out what happened.
You may remember Officer Mark Furman, who appeared during the O.J. Simpson trial. In his book, and he's written several, but the one that's more or less autobiographical, he was a teenager watching TV at the time whenever Oswald was shot by Ruby, and he turned to his mom and said, that was a hit, that was a professional hit.
Yeah.
Already as a teenager, he knew, hey, there's something wrong when a guy can walk right into a police station, go right up to somebody and shoot him. Something's not right.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. Considering the person of Jack Ruby, his mafia associations,
Mm-hmm.
and locations of the people involved and people who knew people, whether or not they were supposedly associated with the assassination or not.
Mm-hmm.
All the names and the places and associations all follow a pattern of New Orleans, New York, Dallas, Chicago. Start reading about all these things that are on the outside of the event. They keep popping up, and so you can't help but wonder.
Before we close, Mr. Moore, do you have any final thoughts on that weekend and how it impacted you and how it's affected America as a whole?
Well, now looking back, it's interesting to ask the questions. Who had to gain? Who had to lose? Why? And so, John, in fact, I was reading just yesterday about impeachment, the subject in the news today.
Right.
And had Kennedy been elected, Johnson probably would have been tried for corruption and other things.
Uh-huh.
So Johnson definitely. And there are others. Of course, Castro was really mad at him because of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
There's a number of books out that draw a direct link between Castro and the Mafia, too, in terms of some type of collusion. And there may even have been some CIA involvement. That's a theory that has been put out there by some theorists.
Yeah, I've read, now this is an opinion. I read that in more than one place that Castro and the U.S. government used the Mafia to do things that they didn't want to touch.
Right.
And so it's a strange relationship, all these things.
And we may not ever know all of the answers, but it's sad that you were there, basically almost an eyewitness that day there at the scene as it took place.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
Talk about your cousin, the one who's a police force. You told me
Yes.
Barbara.
I did.
You did?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The way they treated him? at the police station?
Oh, yeah, he was.
Cousin.
My cousin was dismissed shortly after that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, but it's just another one of those things that happen.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that